Hey, third grade art friends, it's Mrs. Herbay. Hope you're enjoying your Monday. And I have a fun little directed drawing that we're going to do where we are going to draw a wagon. And then inside that wagon, we're going to put lots of fun spring things. So all you're going to need is a piece of copy paper or drawing paper and a pencil. So grab your stuff and let's get started. All right, guys, so the first thing that we're going to do to draw the wagon is we are going to draw a rectangle kind of in the middle of our piece of paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw maybe a vertical line about that tall, okay? And then I'm just going to slide horizontal. I'm going to go over, over, maybe till about right there. And then I'm going to come down. And then I'm going to finish off my rectangle. Okay? So go ahead and do that, and then we'll continue. All right, guys. So for the next step, what we're going to do is we're going to draw the edges of the wagon. So what we're going to do is we're going to extend this top line, this top horizontal line out just a little bit on either side. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to kind of curve up like that diagonally, and then I'm going to curve up like that diagonally a little bit. All right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect these two lines. Sometimes what I like to do, and I want to try to keep the same amount of space in between these lines. So sometimes I like to turn my paper so I'm able to draw the line a little bit straighter and neater. Okay, so I'm just taking my time. So there is the top lip of my wagon. And then I'm going to do a similar thing on the bottom, except for this time I'm going to draw my diagonal line kind of coming out this way. Okay. And it's going to kind of round. And then same thing, I'm going to draw a line kind of like that. All right. And you can make any little adjustments that you need to. Okay. So there is the basic framework of the wagon. I'm going to give you a second to do that, and then we'll go on to the next step. All right, so for the next step, we're going to need 2 sets of wheels. And the wheels are not going to go right attached to the wagon. They're going to kind of, one is going to kind of extend off around here like this. So I'm just kind of roughly sort of sketching it so you guys can see. And don't worry if you can't draw a perfect circle, just do the best that you can. So there's my first wheel. And I kind of think that's in a good position. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here where I'm going to leave some space, and the wheel is going to extend out beyond the rectangle. And I want to try as best I can to make it about the same size as my other one. So I'm just lightly sketching around. And I kind of think that looks pretty good. It maybe could be a touch bigger. Always feel free to turn your paper into a position that makes it most comfortable for you to draw. There we go. I think I have it now. Okay, so there's my 2 wheels. So go ahead and draw that, and then we'll go on to the next step. All right, guys, so now that we have the wheels drawn, we need to attach them to the wagon. So what we're going to do is the first two lines we're going to draw are going to be right here like this. So I have a line here and a line here. And then the next two lines are going to be diagonal lines that are going to so I'm going to move that down just a little bit. It's going to be coming sort of right here and right there. All right, so we have sort of this shape like this and here like that. And then we're going to do the same thing over on the other side, but we're going to do it the reverse. So I'm attaching that one there like that, and then I'm drawing that like that. All right, and then on this end right here, I'm going to come out just about like that and round and come out like that. Okay, so go ahead and do that, and then we'll talk about the next step. All right, guys, so for the next step, we're going to add a handle, and what's going to happen is right here along where the handle is, I'm going to draw a diagonal line from here down to here, and then I realize I need to extend this out just a little bit more because I need to attach the handle here like this. Okay, and then I'm just going to keep continuing up with this diagonal line, maybe to about here like that. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of a wider rounded end on the top of the handle. So there is my handle, and then I'm going to put a little bit of a circle right there. Okay, so go ahead and do those steps. All right, guys, and then the final step for the wheels, we're going to go back and focus on the wheels, is we're going to draw another circle inside of the first circle we drew. And again, we want to try to keep an equal distance around like that. All right, and then on the inside part, we're going to draw another circle right there. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this side where I'm going to trace around. You can even turn your paper if it's easier to kind of just get the curves around. And then again, we're going to put another circle in the center right there like that. Okay, so now we have our wagon. So go ahead, take a few minutes, get your wagon finished up, and then we'll continue. All right, guys, now let's think about what we can fill this wagon with. So the first thing I want to show you guys is we're going to draw a duck, okay? And we're going to put it sort of at the end of the wagon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here, and I'm just going to kind of go up and draw a line like that. So you guys go ahead and do that. And then I'm just going to imagine, I'm just going to lightly come around kind of like this. But you'll see we're going to do something here in a minute. And then I'm also then going to kind of curve up and then around like that. Okay, so go ahead and do that. Then we're going to add the neck. So I'm going to make a curve like that. Then on top of that curve, I'm going to put a smile. Then on top of that smile, I'm going to kind of curve up and around and back like that. And then I'm going to curve out like that. And then around and then back like that. Check it out. And then I can put a little eye there. And then what I'm going to do is starting here, I'm just going to kind of come down and then go in like that. And then here, I'm going to start here and then kind of go back like that. So there's my little ducky. And then what I can do too is I'm going to put a line here like that. And then what we can do is kind of where I had this line right here, kind of lightly, we can kind of erase it because this is kind of where the little tail feathers go. And you can kind of draw those, and we can even add kind of along the back here. Instead of that solid line, we could add little fluff if we wanted to, and kind of there. All right, and we can even add little fluff there like that. So there's one duck. So go ahead, draw your little duck, and then I'll show you how to, we'll stick another little duck in there too. All right, guys, then the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna start down here by the duck's tail, and we're gonna kind of curve up like this. So we're just gonna make sort of like a little bit of a curve. Then we're gonna come in a little bit and go up. And then on top of here, I'm gonna make a little bit of a smile like I did before. And then I'm going to come like this and around and up. And then I'm gonna come up and around. And then down. And then kind of over like this. And then we're gonna imagine this is coming down here like that. Okay? And this duck's gonna get another little eye like that. Okay, so go ahead and do that, and then we'll talk about the next step. All right, guys, now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to fit a little rabbit in here. And what we're going to do is right around in here, we're just going to draw sort of like a curve like this, and then we're going to come around and go like that. Okay, so that's the first step. And then what we're going to do is we're going to, on this side, we're kind of going to go up and then around and down, and then kind of around and down again on that side. All right. Then on this, in this little flat spot here, we're going to put an eye. And then in this little flat spot over here, we're going to put another eye. Okay. Then in this little divot here, on this one side, we're going to kind of go up and then come back around and attach. And then down in here, we're going to kind of go up like that, like there. And then down in here, we can kind of go up and around like that. So there's one ear. And then on this little flat spot here, same thing, we're going to kind of go up and over. And we'll just imagine that the ear then finishes behind the duck, and then it's going to curve out and then come back down in here. And same thing, we can have it kind of come down like this, and then have this part go over like that. Okay? Then we're going to give our rabbit a nose. And so what we're going to do is we're going to come like this, and then we're going to make a sort of a V, and then kind of go back around and up like that. Okay? And then we're going to come down here like this and kind of come around and then up by the eye. And then around and up by the eye. And there's a little bit of mouth in here. there's a little bit of the bunny's chin. Kind of around in there. And then the last thing we have to do is draw part of the bunny's body. So what we're going to do is we're going to start up here by this ear, and what we're going to do is we're going to kind of curve down and then down and around, kind of like that. And then there's a little bit right over in here too. So it kind of fits in just like that. I'm going to erase. Or you can kind of like curve it around. It doesn't actually, here, sorry. It's kind of more curved like that. All right. And then once you have that, go ahead and fill that in, and then we'll talk about the final steps. All right, guys, one of the final steps is giving the bunny whiskers. And then you can think about what else you might want to put in the wagon. You don't have to put anything else in the wagon, but maybe you want to put some flowers or plants. So you can go ahead and add those if you would like to. And you can also add anything else that you think might look really nice in the wagon. And then the last thing is we will put like this, and you could include some grass. And even if you wanted to draw some other flowers to the picture. And then once you add all your details, feel free to color it however you wish. So I hope you guys have a great spring break, and I look forward to seeing you when we're back at school.